All your favorite wrestling shows rolled into one. Welcome to the WeBook It podcast. Let's start the show.
Yo, what's up, WeBook It fam? This is your boy, Big Daddy C. Coming at you with another episode of the Raw Dog Monday show. Stepping in, doing this thing solo. Coach has some business to take care of. So just going to give you a quick little rundown of Monday Night Raw. Pretty solid episode. Nothing to write home about, but I think it was a good show. Getting closer to Saturday night's main event and WWE Evolution. So kicking off the show, we had a promo with Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman. Pretty much there were promos from Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed, who were pretty much trying to setting the stage for their individual matches against Jey Uso and Sami Zayn. Bron Breakker was facing Sami Zayn later on in the night, and Bronson Reed facing Jey Uso. And then Seth Rollins pretty much yielded his mic time to his members of the group. Eventually, Heyman would finish off, promising that the Empire was going to strike back against its enemies, beginning tonight and ending on Saturday in Atlanta at Saturday night's main event when Seth Rollins defeats LA Knight. It's pretty solid promo, kind of setting the stage, for the matches, their individual matches that's coming up. Moving on, we had our first match of the night. We had Kairi Sane versus Roxanne Perez. Earlier, we had a backstage segment with the Judgment Day in their lair or little back locker room, whatever you want to call it. Roxanne basically revealed a memorial to Liv Morgan, to which Raquel took exception of that and saying, y'all, look, she's alive. She's not dead. And then Dominic Mysterio happens to find a cake from AJ Styles, who happened to pop up in the corner on him, reiterating that he has his eyes on the Intercontinental Champion. We get back to the ring. Roxanne Perez, still trying to capitalize off her momentum, winning matches and prove her value to the Judgment Day. So she took on the woman who injured Liv Morgan, Kairi Sane, even though I don't feel like she did injure. Storyline wise, yeah, they're saying she injured Liv Morgan, but Liv injured herself off a botch. But we hope she gets well. Roxanne Perez, she targeted the arm of Kairi Sane in this match, looking to take away her dangerous spinning back fist. So every time Kairi tried to make a comeback, Roxanne would go right back to that injured arm. Kairi Sane eventually built up some momentum later on in the match, though ultimately it proved to be too much for her to overcome interference from Raquel Rodriguez. Basically took her out at ringside, and then eventually she did overcome. She did overcome all of that. Honestly, I'm sorry, I'm just waking up and I'm not feeling the best. So she took out Roxanne. She took out Raquel Rodriguez. Took her out at ringside, and she ultimately pinned Roxanne Perez's shoulders to the mat with a backslide for the win. After the match, Asuka will come out there to make a save after Roxanne and Raquel jumped Kairi Sane. And so basically the Kabuki Warriors reunited to stand tall against the Judgment Day. And so looks like we may be having that third and final challenging team for WWE Evolution in terms of that Women's Tag Team Championship match, as we will have Raquel and Roxanne versus I forgot there was a team from NXT, tag team from NXT, which will be Sol, Ruka, and Zarya. And then from SmackDown, we got Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. And so now it looks like the Kabuki Warriors will be joining from the Raw side of things. So we will have a fatal four-way match, fatal four-way tag team championship match on the women's side. So that should be pretty solid to see. Next up, we had a let's see here. We had a backstage segment. Jackie Redmond will catch up with Sami Zayn, who's basically saying how his plate is too full and their life is too busy to be worried about carrying cross. We know they've been having issues over the previous, 2 months or so. Well, probably longer than that, honestly. And carrying cross after losing his match to Sami Zayn at Night of Champions. Karrion Kross attacked him the next night, which was last week, with a rib injury. And so this after Sami Zayn was basically saying how he ain't got time for Karrion, here comes Scarlett, who didn't look too pleased about Karrion Kross being pushed aside. And so elsewhere, you had Ivy Nile and the Creed brothers asking Adam Pearce about the return of El Grande Americano on Monday on tonight's show. Ivy Nile expressed her desire to be in the Battle Royal, the women's Battle Royal at Evolution, and Adam Pearce granted her wish. Asuka and Kairi Sane, bars in, and Adam Pearce suggested that the return of the Kabuki Warriors at Evolution as a challenge for their women's tag team titles. So essentially, that segment set up the Kabuki Warriors to get into that match. And so, like I said, we got the fatal four-way. Next up, we had Nikki Bella returning. We had it was pretty much a promo. She cut about the importance of Evolution, a pay-per-view she quote-unquote championed and headline the very first event, which was in 2019. So she announced her entry into the Women's Battle Royal for a shot at either the Women's World Championship or the WWE Women's Championship at Clash in Paris. I can confidently say she is not winning that match. Ain't nobody trying to see her as in the title scene ever again. So that's all I got to say on that matter. Next up, we had we had a mid-commercial promo from the New Day, who lost their titles last week at the hands of the Judgment Day, Finn and JD McDonough. And so they came out there dressed in all black. Goddamn, Xavier Wood, both him and Kofi had the little drape over the widow drape. Got some some black roses. Yeah, man, these dudes are comical, bro. I love these two, man. Like they have stood the test of time in this company for about 15 years now, it seems. So yeah, man, I love these guys, man. I know they lost the championships, but they'll be all right. And so yeah, they had a little mid promo, mourning their loss. So that was pretty funny. Next up, we had our next match, Sami Zayn versus Bron Breakker. As Sami Zayn made his way to the ring, Karrion Kross attacked him and left him beaten and battered. And so despite the incident, despite the medics coming out there and Adam Pearce, coming out there to say, "Oh, check and see if he wanted to continue on with the match." Sami Zayn was like, "No, I'm doing this match, bro." So he made it to the ring. It did not bode well for him. Bron Breakker he's pretty much like a slab of ribs, a steak to Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker took advantage. Zay had some moments, hit him with an explosive clothesline. But Bron Breakker, he just hit him with a super spear around the ring and then threw him back into the ring, hit with another spear and got the win. And so yeah, this is pretty, this gave you everything you wanted. Continued the Karrion Cross angle, with him and Sami Zayn. Also, and Sami Zayn still having the issues with Seth Rollins' team. So yeah, even though, even they were supposed to get some heat for Karrion Cross, even though the crowd wants to see more of him on television and just in general, like trying to get, at least get in the main, get in the title picture or something, the crowd still loves him. But this was a good way to give him some heat. So we'll see how things play out between those two down the line. And so let me see here. Next up, we had a promo with Becky Lynch, who is the current WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion. And so Becky came out there. She was kind of pissed off about having to defend her championship in a triple threat match against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. And so during this promo, Lyra and Bayley would come out there to interrupt her. Wasted little time taking shots at each other, being egged on by Becky. And Valkyria promised to end both of them and take the IC title, while Bayley expressed her need for the gold. This will eventually lead to a brawl. And Valkyria laid out both Bayley and Becky, standing tall and then gaining some momentum ahead of Sunday's match. And so, Sunday. Is this Sunday? No, I think they're on Saturday. I don't know. All right, because there's so much happening this weekend, y'all. We got 2 WWE events plus, actually, no, I think maybe 3. Because you got Great American Bash. I think no, Great American Bash is not this week. No. Yeah, you got Evolution, Saturday night's main event, and AEW all in. So there's just so much happening this weekend. It's crazy. But yeah, Lyra got some momentum heading into that match. I don't know if she's going to win. We'll see. But let me see here. There was a cool moment. Lyra told her, like, I have to rescue. She was like, I have to rescue that title from 2 massive disappointments. Which she basically referred to Bayley and Lynch, who let her down as friends, partners, and mentors. And Bayley was like, I was like, yeah, you raised her hand like a little bitch. Which basically was the stipulation after Lyra lost the title to Becky. She had to raise her hand up. And so there's just a lot of personal shit going on here. But next up, we got Jey Uso versus Bronson Reed. So Bronson Reed, he basically was not interested in beating Jey Uso. He just wanted to just annihilate him any way that he could. And so basically what happened in this match, it was pretty decent. But Bronson Reed was like, fuck all this shit. I'm just in this match, get disqualified. He launched a steel chair at Jey Uso, which not a regular steel chair. It was more so the wheelchair, not the steel chair, but the wheelchair. He launched that shit at him for the disqualification, and Bronson Reed basically brutalized Jey Uso further and gave him multiple tsunamis, leaving him in need of assistance in the back. So I like the momentum, the dominating faction, heel faction. They keep gaining momentum week in, week out. So I love it. They're looking strong. That's what you want. You got 2 behemoths, 2 super heavyweight guys, led by Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. Like, this is what you want to see from the heel faction. So they're rolling, man. And so we'll see how long they keep this up. See who's going to challenge them and really step up to them and kind of put a stop to their reign of terror per se. Next up, we had a little hype video for Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. It was pretty much like a video package, talking about Io Sky's record against Rhea Ripley. So nothing to write home about that. But I believe that match will be pretty solid as we get to that. They will be having a world championship match against each other at Evolution. Next up, we had let me see here. We had El Grande Americano returning to the ring, returning to Monday Night Raw to face Dragon Lee. It was a good, solid back and forth match. And then late in the match, you had Dragon Lee launching himself over the rope at Americano and appeared to have momentum on the side. That is until Americano put the damn steel plate in his mask, did the little stupid headbutt, and he got the win. And so essentially, it doesn't appear that this El Grande Americano is Chad Gable. I believe it may be Ludwig Kaiser. So I think they did do a switcheroo. It's almost like what TNA did with Suicide. So for a long time, Suicide was the guy that was that was portraying him was Kaz, and then eventually they switched it up. No, was it? Yeah, it was Kaz, and then they switched it up to damn, what is my boy's name, man? Damn it, hold on, I need to look this up. Suicide TNA. Is it Aries? Austin Aries, yes. So yeah, so it was Kaz at first, and then it ended up being Austin Aries. So I believe it was just those two, but I think they had two people. Who was it? Okay. All right, there were a lot of people that portrayed him. It was more than who I thought it was. So it was three. So the first two was Kazarian, Kaz basically, and Christopher Daniels, and then it was Austin Aries. I remember those three. But you had several people. You had, per Wikipedia, you had Frankie Kazarian, Christopher Daniels, Akira Rajin, Okada, Kazukika Okada. I'm gonna find out how to say his name. Austin Aries, TJ Perkins, Jonathan Gresham. Wait, the backstage? Oh no. Wait, his black ass was so. Okay, all right, never mind. Yeah, Jonathan Gresham, Caleb Conley, Zachary Wentz, and Crazy Steve. So all those people portrayed Suicide. Apparently, I did not know that until today. But nevertheless, back to it. So basically, Ludwig Kaiser is apparently El Grande Americano now instead of Chad Gable. So I guess they're taking a different approach to it, which is pretty cool. I don't mind it at all. Gives Ludwig Kaiser something to do, because it seems like whatever he was doing as Ludwig was not working out too well for him. So next up, we had a promo. Gunther was out there. Was basically addressing Goldberg ahead of his match at Saturday night's main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. Of course, he was interrupted by Goldberg, came out there limping. But prior to that, he drove a sports car into the parking lot and then walked his way to the arena, limping, like I said. Comes out there. He knocks the microphone from Gunther's hand, knocked him to the mat. Goldberg basically set up for a spear. Gunther bailed out of the ring as Goldberg stood tall. Nothing to write home here about. Obviously, it's just a little cheap pop for Goldberg. He's going to lose his match, though, which I cannot wait. So, yeah, we'll see what happens this Saturday. Now we are here for our main event, Penta versus Seth Rollins, who are facing off for the first time ever. This was an intense competitive match. We saw Seth Rollins and Penta go move for move. A lot of near falls, a lot of false finishes along the way. Late in the match, Penta caught some momentum, and he hit the Mexican Destroyer that came out of nowhere to stun Seth Rollins. However, a well-timed headbutt tonight, a well-timed headbutt by Seth Rollins stun Penta and allow Rollins to deliver the curb stomp for the win. After the match, Heyman called for Bron Breakker and Reed to come out there and do further damage to Penta, only for LA Knight to come out of nowhere and deliver the BFT to Seth Rollins, leaving Seth Rollins lying ahead of their match. Seth Rollins didn't know what the hell he was after that maneuver. So yeah, the match was pretty strong. Crowd was red hot. They enjoyed every bit of it. This is a pretty solid night. Nothing, like I said, it's nothing to write home about, but it gives you a little nice momentum, anticipation leading up to Saturday night's main event. So yeah, that has been the recap here for Monday Night Raw. And that is this episode that brings you to the end of this episode of Raw Dog Monday. This is your boy Big Daddy C signing out. Last but not least, keep those booking pencils sharp and keep on booking. Peace.